Hi, my name is Lauren Best, and I am a business designer and certified hypnotherapist. And I am so excited to join you today on Conversations with Pearl.
Hello, sunshine, good to see you again. Had to walk out to let you back in. Stuck in a storm of a relationship. Lost my fire. Oh, and I forgot about me for way too long. But it's rolled on. Now there ain't no shade around here. Once you leave the clouds, you're under. Ain't it funny how there ain't no rain or clear? Why'd it take so long to leave you in the rearview mirror? Now nobody gonna steal my sunshine or turn my blue sky gray. All I know is at the end of the day, wildflowers grow when there ain't no shade.
Hey, everybody. Again, you are here with another Conversations with Pearl. And, I always love bringing some powerful women. And I don't know if you guys understand this, but a lot of these women that I bring to you, I actually have never met in person. I've gotten to know them through social media and all the great avenues are there. So I challenge you to meet somebody new you haven't met that is maybe intrigued you on social media and pick up the little fingers and text them or DM them. Hey, I follow you. Love to talk with chat with you. So I'm excited today because we're going to bring you an amazing guest. Her name is Lauren Best, and she is a designer that's gone rogue. She's supporting solopreneurs who are ready to scale up their service-based businesses with more ease and flow. This might mean designing the ways they structure their work, how they embrace their ways, that superpower they have. And you guys know I love superpowers, right? Or maybe how they pivot into a new service that they want to offer and the foundations they can create to prioritize the ways in which they spend their time and that energy, because you want to spend it wisely. I love that Lauren mixes her approach that combines her expertise of business design, thinking, and upgrading our mindset, because you really need that good mindset. And she does that through hypnosis and has designed her own business in a way that empowers her to leave behind the hustle mentality. And who doesn't want to leave that hustle mentality behind? And I know I've got some what I call my CEO moms that are listening to us today, Lauren, and they're going, hustle, I'm always hustling. So sit down. God. If you're listening to us, grab a glass of wine, grab your favorite drink, whether it's a cup of tea or hot tea. You guys know I love my tea. And join us in this great conversation we're going to have today. So hi, Lauren. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you so much. Thank you for having me. I actually am a tea person as well, but I forgot my tea today. So I'll definitely have a cup for all of you after this.
Awesome. I love it. I love it. So I'm so excited to have you. And I just want to delve right in because I know our time is always short and it seems like it goes by so fast when we have these conversations. So I want you to tell us first, let's go back way, way back. I want you to tell us, what was your life like growing up, and then share with us any obstacles you had to overcome through that journey of becoming the person you are today.
Yeah, I think, I've just been doing so much inner child work in the last 2 years that I've really gotten this new perspective and new lens of like what my childhood was like, and like really looking at, now as an adult, connecting like back to that inner child and in different situations in my life, whether I'm like out for a walk somewhere and I see something fun or play structure, I'm like, what would my inner child do? And she would run onto that swing set and go on a swing. So whenever I see a swing now, I'm like, as much as I, might be in a rush to go this way, I'm like, I got to do this for her. So, I mean, I was a really free-spirited child. I remember I grew up in a kind of rural area outside of Winnipeg in Canada, which is one of the larger cities, but still under 1 million people. So I grew up, on the countryside, riding dirt bikes and playing with the kids in the ditch, collecting snails and running around, jumping in the pool, jumping all over the play structure. And it's something like, especially over the last 2 years, I really lost. And so I'm just nurturing that and trying to connect back with that inner child, and also have just become so aware now of also like the little things that happened in my childhood that weren't, super traumatic through like a trauma lens, but also like those little stories that we learn as kids. Like one moment that really sticks out for me, and now it's like a new story that I've rewritten through hypnosis, is just as a child being told, okay, no interrupting the adults, or just like waiting your turn to talk. And it gave me the story of not feeling important. And it's something as an adult, like I never knew it was that moment as a child that might seem so insignificant, and perhaps for a parent teaching you about patience and respect. But, those little moments, can have an impact in our life. So I'm looking through this really interesting lens of my childhood in this playful spirit. And also like, what were these moments as well that, gave me these stories that aren't true and I need to like totally rewrite. So I'm embracing both parts of it and just seeing where that takes me. And it's taken me to like a whole new me, which is really cool.
I love that you mentioned the inner child because, as a life coach, and, I work with mental fitness, truly I'm a mental fitness life coach. And we have a small community of women that we meet every Sunday evening. It's called our Shira League. So those that are listening, if you haven't heard about it and want to check it out, let me know. But in our Shira League, we try to do some inner child work. And what the women we found were struggling with is like, well, I had a great childhood. And we're like, no, it's not whether you have a great childhood or didn't have a great. It's what is, like what you gave the example that growing up, don't talk, the adults are talking. And so we felt like, oh, we have to sit back and I can't say what's on my mind, or I can't have a voice, And so it's really like you said, embracing her or him, if we have our men that are listening, but to understand that, she's still in us. Like she's still, if you could go back and I love you said, go on a swing. Why not? If you're walking down the street and you love swinging as a kid, I'm going to challenge you, get on the flipping swing and go swing. Cause it's such a great, right? And it's good for your self-care. So, when you do that work, and I loved how you brighten up, and you reminded me when I was growing up, the dirt, playing in the dirt, jumping in the pool, all those things. When I grew up in high school, I went to school over in West Palm Beach on the other side of the state, Forest Hill High School. And we had so much fun. Like all the homes were not there, but we used to go into Okeechobee Woods, and we would take an old go-kart that had no engine. We'd tie it to the back of a truck, and we'd go mudding through the woods, right? And we just come home full. And I remember my mom going, "You are not walking in my house like that." I'm like, "Oh my goodness, it's fun." But I just brought my inner child came out and go, "Hey, remember when we did that?" So I love that you said about that inner child, and I think I love how you just shine with all that. But let me ask you this: so talking about as you grow up, and our inner child's getting older, but she's still there. Like who had the most influence for you in your life? Like who, like if you look back and said, wow, that person, like for me, my grandfather, he was the biggest influence in my life. I mean, he was like a dad to me in the way that my dad wasn't a dad. He was this big, tall, 6-foot man. He was a bread delivery guy. So he delivered bread overnight, but he always had this kind little heart. And he just said, you could do whatever you want to do. Nobody can stop you from doing it. Right. And so that's how I live my life, is nothing's going to stop me. Don't tell me no, because I'm going to get it and I'm going to do it. Right. So who was that influence for you in your life?
Yeah, that was definitely my grandmother. She was like, and it's really funny too, because a lot of the time, even now, people are like, my younger sister, her and I we have some similar features, but we look very different. She's like way taller than me, super brunette, and just like different features generally. And growing up, people would be like, you don't really look like your family, but I looked exactly like my grandmother. Like when she was young, even as like a elderly woman, like we have the same face, we look the same, we have so many similar mannerisms, and we just have always had that really beautiful connection. And she always had a playfulness about her. And like, it was just so beautiful to see. Even, she passed away during the pandemic, and not having that time with her in person, like, was not lost, because we had FaceTime, and the words of wisdom she would give us, like in the last few years, were just so amazing. Like she always had this saying that she would say if people were bickering in the background, she would do this little dance and say, happy, happy, joy, joy. And it's like this really cute joke we all say in our family now. If like people are bickering, we'll just say grandma's like line, happy, happy, joy, joy. And she just had so many beautiful words of wisdom like that. And she always spoke about just be happy, just eat that ice cream. Cherry ice cream was her favorite. Eat that cookie and dance like all day long. There's no reason to have a bad day ever. So I try to really just like wake up with that attitude. And when I'm in a mood, I'm like, okay, what would grandma do? And she would just dance. She would eat the ice cream. That's like my treat of choice whenever I just need that comfort food. So she's like, yeah, she was an incredible woman. And I hope to emulate like so much more than just her looks in my life, because she truly, means so much to me. And I know she's still hanging out, reminding me to dance and eat that ice cream. So
I love it. I get to see your grandmother. Like I can picture, your grandma going, happy, happy, joy, joy. And, it's so true. It's, we started something new in our community of the Cheer League. And now we started incorporating dancing during our meeting. And
I love that.
It's so different. Like you walk in and you feel like, and listen, we meet at 8:00 at night on a Sunday night. So it's been a long week. We're preparing for the next day. Right. But I feel like the shift for us, and to think about, your grandmother going happy, happy, joy, joy. Cause it's so true. She's right. We don't know if you're going to have tomorrow. So enjoy today. Yeah. Eat the ice cream, Rocky Road is my ice cream. And if I can't have it in the house, if I know it's in the house, it's trouble for me. So
oh my gosh. Yeah.
I love that you share that.
Outside treat.
It's so amazing. So amazing. So I want to know, tell us about your business. Like what led you on the path to do what you're doing today? And tell us a little bit about the hypnosis. Like how does that play into everything you're doing too?
Yeah. So my journey, like everything, I just always tell myself like it was so intentional, but so accidental at the same time, because I've always been this person, like since I was young, who was just so incredibly curious and had this like problem solving hat. And I think that's also like, this influence from my father, who was like just this amazing problem solver. So I always kind of, I observed that, and then just always kind of took on that lens of like, why are we doing things? Why are we doing things in a certain way? The way that we're being told to do things, is it actually the best way to do it or the most simple way to do it? And I really didn't know when I, graduated high school, like what I was going to do, because I thought I had to have it figured out and I knew I didn't. So I went to business school, thought, okay, this is fine. It's a little boring, but I know I want to own my own business one day, but I just don't know what it is yet. So I did that. And then I thought, okay, I want to get more creative. I studied communications, learned about journalism, about public relations, visual communications, which I loved. So then I thought, okay, I need to get more creative. And I studied product and furniture design. And worked for some e-commerce companies, some product and furniture companies over in the UK. That's where I studied. And still after that experience, which I loved, I again questioned myself of, okay, I have all these skills. I know I'm good at this. I enjoy designing things with such great intention, but I don't want to design another chair. There's so many beautiful chairs in the world. I don't need to be responsible for creating another one that ends up in a landfill. So I thought, okay, I have all these design skills, this strategic thinking, this curiosity. And then I learned about service design. And that was a really cool just moment for me to shift into the space of knowing like, I can design experiences. I can design the way businesses operate or folks experience a business or a service. And that can have so much meaningful impact just in the way, we bring even sustainability or happiness or joy or creativity to folks' lives and just make their lives easier and simpler. So I went off to Singapore. I worked over there as a consultant, helping different organizations, government level, also like small or medium enterprises. And I just loved this space of like figuring out, what is it that you're really good at? What is it the customer really wants? And how can you like design this experience that's really going to not only allow you as the service provider to just love what you're doing and know that whatever it is you're offering to someone is going to like change their lives. And that person is really going to just want to know that you're out there and that you're out there for them. So during the pandemic, I came back to Canada. I didn't know what I was going to do. And it took a long time of just feeling this burnout and this rush of adrenaline and this changing world in this pandemic of like, what am I going to do next? I haven't lived in Canada for like 7 years. I've been abroad for so long. And I thought, okay, well, I've designed so many businesses. I knew I always wanted to design a business for myself. This is it. So it took me such a long time. I had so much, unlearning to do. And that's when I found hypnosis because I was so stuck. I knew I had designed all these businesses before and I just couldn't do it for myself. And I had these blocks and, this inner child healing to do and just like unlearn all these stories of, what it is to run a business or design a business that wasn't meant for me, but, maybe for someone else. So I started doing hypnosis and it just helped me so much that I thought, this is it. This is my missing puzzle piece that's going to help me not only like build myself up and give myself these amazing like rituals and foundations that are going to expand my subconscious mind to really believe in myself and know what it is that I need to do in the ways that feel good, but also help those other folks who, have these beautiful gifts to share that, desire to have this life where they're their own solopreneur with their own business, with their own financial freedom and time freedom. And they just have these, either these blocks that aren't allowing them to get there, but also perhaps they've already done it before, but they're ready for that next level. So I became a certified hypnotherapist and I've ever since been just redesigning the way I approach business and my own business and helping others as well. And it's just this beautiful blend. And it's why I call myself this designer gone rogue, because it's hard to say like, I'm just a designer and designer of what, and it can be anything. So that's kind of where it comes in, the designer of the mind, designer of experience, the designer of, your life, your work. So it was all kind of accidental and all led into each other, but it all fits into my world now. And I never really saw, that this would be where I'm at because I couldn't have imagined it really. It's just a bizarre mixed match of everything that's, so perfect for me now.
I love the thought of the designer going rogue. Wow, you have traveled all over the place. How cool is that? And that's awesome because, that's the thing is get out. Don't let anything hold you back. Like go experience life and find out what is that. And I love that you use hypnosis in it and that because you're right. We as entrepreneurs and solopreneurs, we get a block and we don't necessarily have a team around us to help us go, we don't think about that. What do you think about that? We don't have that team. And if you don't have a business coach or you don't have that person that can be like, hey, I love this idea. Have you thought about it this way? I love that. And there are blocks. We get blocks. We give ourselves, mental blocks, telling ourselves we're not worth it. Oh, nobody's going to want to buy this. Nobody's going to want to do it that way. Right. And to have that piece that you can find to say, let's get rid of the blocks. Let's break it down and let's do a little hypnosis. Let's talk about, it. Maybe you need to pivot. Maybe it's really, you want it this way, but maybe you need to pivot to do it that way. Right. And so I think it's so powerful that you've been able to take that and do something that's worked for you and found the need. Because I could tell you, I get blocks often, and I do have a business coach, but sometimes, even as much as she's great with me, I love her. Sometimes I just, I still have that self-doubt talk in my head, so I love that you're doing that. And I think it's a great piece that I don't hear often about from coaches and business coaches, things like that. I just love that. So I just think that's so powerful. So tell us, like, what's that one client that you worked with that they were like, they had that breakthrough, and like, what was that breakthrough like for them? Give us an example of that client.
I think it's really interesting because everyone is so different, right? And like what exists in each and every one of our subconscious minds is so, so different. And for myself, hypnosis took me like, cause I had so much more healing to do at the point I was at, just due to, things happening in the world and ending up in this new environment that I hadn't been in. It's been really cool to see, I have this one client, well, I have a few amazing manifesting clients, but one in particular who is just like from session to session, and we meet every 2 weeks, is just like, wow, what she's able to show up and visualize within her mind so quickly is just it's so beautiful. And I think it comes down to also her already having this practice of, manifestation that was already a part of her reality. It was already part of her day to day, which is something I personally didn't really have when I started doing hypnosis and, finding myself in my own journey. So just being able to like realize as well, like meeting yourself where you are. And if things don't happen as quickly for you as, someone else that you see online, it's like perfectly okay because you're on your own perfect journey. But, it just shows, me and, other folks as well, that having those practices of, writing, like I use this mind hacking affirmation practice with all my clients, and I use it myself now, which my hypnotherapist taught me. And it's, handwriting your affirmations before you go to bed. So really crafting your own custom affirmations that leave no opportunity for you to question it, and leave no opportunity for you to have doubt in these affirmations, and really just handwriting them. It like allows it to program into your brain as the last thing before you go to sleep. And as you go to sleep, it's already like programming into your subconscious mind. So, having all those foundational things are just a bonus and are things that can really help you like accelerate when it comes to, the mind hacking and expanding your subconscious and working and just even identifying those blocks. And I've definitely seen that in those clients who do have that. And for those who don't, it's never too late to really start those practices and support yourself in those different ways that work for you and feel good and are going to support you.
I am a big affirmation person. So I love that. I just love that. And I'm a brain dumper as well. So I just love
me too.
It's so important, like, that we do that, because for our mental well-being, it's, it's really important to get that stuff that's like keeping you awake at night. That's like just in there. And when you can dump it and you can meditate and you can journal, it's so beneficial, the release that comes to receive what's waiting, right? Because I say often, and if you're listening to my podcast again, you've heard me say this before, no matter who you believe in, we come into this world with these tools and these talents that are built inside us. They're already here. And if you don't do something with them to start, paying it forward to yourself and, do something, you're cheating yourself, but really you're cheating those of us out here waiting to receive it. Because your hypnosis, for instance, may be something that somebody is listening goes, oh, I do keep having these blocks. I need to do something different. And hypnosis could be that thing for them, right? Or it could be brain dumping or affirmations. It's so, so, so important that we remember that we have these tools and we have these talents to get us through those blocks. So I just love that you're doing that. I just think it's so powerful. I love that. So, so cool. So tell me something. I want to know, what do you do to have, like, what does having harmony in your life mean to you? And then also build upon that too. Like, what do you do for your self-care?
Yeah. So something like I did probably a year ago, and that I do with all my clients and have like in my mini course, is this life recipe. And it, for me, is like all the beautiful ingredients that, like, if I was I am living my ideal life because I incorporate these ingredients into my life. So I thought, like, in my ideal life, like what are the activities that I do that I love? What are the things that I enjoy? And like, it's anything from just my cup of tea in the morning or making my matcha latte or, traveling and buying a new tea. I'm a real serious tea person. So that's like a big, that comes up in so many different activities for me, but also this desire to have this freedom of not only time and energy to like, work when I want to work, but also to travel and also to, be working in a way that suits my energy and gives me that, spaciousness to show up. I have different, like energetic ebbs and flows. Everyone has ebbs and flows, but mine can be really extreme sometimes. So like, what is this environment that I can create for myself, whether it's in, the same physical place, a different physical place that is going to allow me to show up in whatever level I need to show up and still be doing, good enough work. And also like, little things like not having to commute to work and having time for creative collaborations and to have beautiful conversations like this with you, Pearl, and just, be present in the world in the different ways that really fill up my energy, that fill up my cup, that give me that smile and just really allow me to show up in the best way possible for me and, play on a play structure when I'm wandering around or whatever it is. I also love just like exploring. So I I wrote all these things down on my life recipe and, whether or not I do just, one a day or, half of them in a day, it doesn't matter, but it's just about embodying those moments and, allowing the time and space for those things that I really love.
I wrote that down. I wrote down life recipe. So those that are listening to us, if you take anything from today, what is your life recipe? Like, what do you want that life to look like? Like, what are you doing? What do you do when you get up in the morning? What are you doing to, I can't wait to share this with my women on Sunday. Like, what does that life look like? Are you playing? Are you taking time out to go play? Are you taking time out to do something for yourself? And how do you incorporate that into your life? And if you are struggling with that, I mean, definitely we'll have some connections here for Lauren to help you with, but you can also reach out to me because I love that saying life recipe. I think that's why I asked you before your life mantra. I love that you said less hustle, more flow. I think that's so cool. That goes with that life recipe, like less hustle, more flow. Like how are you ebb and flowing through your life and incorporating? Listen, we know we have to work. We know there's things we have to bring in income. I've taught my oldest, he's like, why does everything have to be about money? And I'm like, it's not necessarily about money, but we have to have money to live, right? So you can choose how much money you want to have or not have, and you can choose how that life looks for you. But you have to have something coming in, right? And I think he's a very entrepreneur spirit at the heart. But I love it. Like, what does that life recipe make up for you? Because my CEO moms are at home, balancing. I always tell my CEO moms, I don't like the word stay at home mom. You are running a business at home. You are a CEO of the household. So
that's for sure.
And the thing is like life recipe, stop and think about it to my CEO moms. What is your life recipe? It's not all laundry, kids here or there. It's not house cleaning. It's not that. You are you first, right? It's always when people ask me, tell me about yourself. I'm always like, my name is Pearl. I'm an author, speaker, mental fitness life coach. And I, have a great family. That took me a long time, like to say, what's my identity statement? It's not an easy thing to do. So I just love that you said that. Just think that's so cool. So I want to know, as we're getting near our end, it always goes so fast. Always goes so fast. But I want to know what new dreams are you working on towards achieving?
Yeah, I think it's for me, it's this balance of my energy, this balance of my time and balance of, attracting this financial freedom as well, that is really going to help support me to explore the other freedoms and explore new places around the world and connect with new soulmate clients. That is just, I'm really wanting to nurture just this bigger picture of it and also bring, this perspective and energy of like just being really curious, but also really just up for things happening and, the unexpected, and knowing that, everything that's happening around me, it might be things I, want to control, but like, how can I let go of this control to like have freedom in this way and just show up and kind of ride the wave in the way that feels good, and just wait for the invitations that are really going to be meant for me. So I think, just this patience, I guess, if I had to summarize it into one word, it's just working on this just calm patience that has that flow and really just supports me to be present in my life. Because I have so many goals. I have so many things that I want to work towards, but if I don't have that, I feel like, I might just throw myself back into the hustle. And I was talking with a client the other day, and we're in hypnosis as well. And I was talking and sharing about this concept of hustle easier instead of hustle harder, and just wanting to really embody that just overall for myself, and everything else will fall into place if I can embody that. So
I love hustle easier. I think that's really cool because we do it. Life goes so hard. And, one of the things I think about as we've come through the other side of COVID now is that we were such this world of hustle, 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 not stopping and appreciating what we have or spending time with that family, we're just boom, 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 go. And then COVID hit and we pretty much had a world shutdown. And then we started sitting back and going, wow, did that, I forget, it's called the Great Retirement, or there's a word for it, but
resignation, the Great Resignation.
Great Resignation. And I love that that's happening, because if anything came through what we went through with COVID, it's that reevaluating that recipe of our life. Like you said, right? What is that recipe that I want going forward? And I think it's so powerful. And then also realizing, I can't tell you how many people I know that like sold everything, got in a bus and just went traveling.
Wow.
I mean,
that's
and
cool.
It's so powerful, and I just love that. So I, those that are listening, think about that, like less hustle, I just love that. I think it's so powerful.
We need to fill our own cups before we're able to support others to fill theirs. So that's something I'm really like, I can say it so many times, but like even today I woke up and I was like, I need to do that. Especially today. I know that's what I needed before I could support anyone else. And it's so true. We need to think about that every day, because then that's when we'll show up as our best selves.
And I love that you said that. Something that you just said there is being honest with how we live, because oftentimes I have women that I work with, because I coach women on overcoming being that people pleaser. Like they have to, I don't want to say no to anybody because I will feel like they won't like me or they'll hate me. They won't be my friend. No, it's okay to say no. You don't have to be the people pleaser. But I love that you were honest to say, I am not always perfect. Like I have people that come to me and go, I'm like, so have you worked with the coach before? They're like, yeah, but the coach wasn't genuine, because the coach is like, I live my life exactly like I say this.
Right.
Because
that's amazing.
Nobody can say that they do that.
How do you do it? Yeah.
No way. I mean, I wake up, there's nights I don't sleep. I mean, even in my own community of women, I tell them honestly, I'm not perfect. I have days where I don't sleep well, or I forget to do my meditation, forget to do my journaling. But the key is, what do you do when you do that? You flip the lid and go, let me go turn the light back on and pour back into my cup, because you're right. You can't pour into your cup, especially if you are a CEO mom, or let's take it to the extreme. You're a caregiver and you're taking care of somebody full time. You got to pour into your cup, in order to pour into others. So glad you shared that. So awesome. So this has been fun. I've had a blast having you on today, and everybody that's listening knows I've already forewarned Lauren that we do our fun little, Better Questions, Better Life cards. And so we're going to do that right now with Lauren. We'll see what she pulls and we'll answer the question. So you tell me when to stop, Lauren.
Okay.
Ooh, yeah.
Can you go back that way? I'm switching it up. Okay. Stop.
Let's see what it is. Oh, I love this question. Okay. So those that are listening to the podcast today or watching on YouTube, I often talk about this question in some form. How do I want to be remembered?
Oh my gosh, that's such a good question. I think it's just this authenticity, this authenticity to show up, with this compassion and as my own self in whatever form that takes. And just with this, deep kindness, because that is so important to me, to just be able, to make those connections, not only with other people and just have them feel an authenticity, even back to themselves. But just when it comes to appreciating, any moment, and just authentic. I really think that
being
can
your
take
authentic
so
self.
many different ways. Can show up in compassion, in love, in, fun and joyfulness. So it's a great branch to so many.
I love that question, because I often ask when I have, when I'm coaching and somebody's struggling about their self-care and they're hustling too much for everybody else and being that people pleaser. I always say, stop. Mm-hmm. Let me ask you this serious question. We're going to dig deep quickly. Tomorrow, you're no longer here. And only thing somebody can say about you. And so those that are listening, listen to this question and think about this. If tomorrow you are no longer here, and the only thing somebody could say at your eulogy is what they saw you do for yourself, not how beautiful you were, how loving you were, but all they could do is say, I saw Pearl go do this for herself, or I saw, fill in your name, blank, do this for themselves. Like my family can say, they see me take a staycation once a quarter. They see me go for walks. They see me, get on a swing, like you said. They see me do those things to pour into my cup. And so I love that question was a great question. So before we let you go, tell everybody where they can find you. And we're also going to post it for everybody to see. But for those listeners that are like, I want to write down her information now, get out your pen and paper. And Lauren, let everybody know where they can find you.
Yeah, so you can find me on my website, which is Lauren, LAUREN -best, BEST.com. And there I have links to all the great things. I do complimentary group hypnosis sessions for solopreneurs who are ready to try hypnosis or just tap into their mind a little bit more. I can also do a session with you. I do complimentary sessions to pinpoint what is your focus that you can bring more flow into your business. If you simplify this one thing, it'll just bring that more flow. So I invite you to join me for that. I'm also over on Instagram at LaurenBest_co. That's _CO. And I'm also on Insight Timer. I'm still growing there, but I'm really excited to be there. I'll be sharing different meditations and hypnosis sessions. And my handle is also LaurenBest_co. So you can have a look there as well.
Awesome. I'm so excited to have had you on today. And so for those of you that are listening, I hope you took some great nuggets, and I hope you write down about Life Recipe and all the fun things that we talked about today. And I just want to remind everybody that is listening, we have our 6th annual Women Successful Living Pajama Retreat. It's September the 15th to the 19th of this year. Come hang in your PJs for 4 or 5 days with some amazing women. And our theme this year is experiencing your journey of possibilities. So we're going to create your roadmap for yourself, your personal well-being, your self-care, and how to create that life recipe, for example. And really, when you leave, you'll have the steps. What are your first steps to go on? We're going to have massage. We're going to have yoga. Everything is included in your price to 10, except for your transportation. So if you want to join us, go to wslivingretreats.com. That's wslivingretreats.com. Join us today. And listen, as I always tell everybody, we come into this world, we're this rough oyster on the outside, but as you open it up, you're this beautiful, beautiful pearl on the inside. So I want all of you to go find your inner pearl of greatness today. Have a great day.